Hey, it's Uncle G of Audacity Dawning. Today we're going to be doing some canning of chili. So stay tuned. Hey, so today we're going to can some chili that we made earlier in the day. We've got all the essential equipment that's needed for pressure canning. We are going to use a Presto 16 quart pressure canner, which is here. I've already got it warming up. We've got our chili that has been cooked and is still warm. We have our jars in the oven that are warm. They've been cleaned and are staying warm in the oven until I actually go to fill them. We've got all the tools that we need for the canning process. And then we also have our absolutely necessary tool of after 5 o'clock adult beverage. Thank you very much. So let's get started. So first, we're going to go ahead and pull the jars out of the oven and get them set up on a cooling rack so that we can get ready to fill them up. I'll move my most important item over there. And let's see if we can do this without creating a mess. Very nicely done. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. So, we had them in the oven for about 15 minutes at 250 after washing them to dry them off, get them hot so that they're hot since the chili is hot. You don't want to put hot food into cold jars. So we're going to set a couple of them up over here. Oops. They are still hot. All right. Got our trusty funnel. If you watched bigdee on some of the other videos, she has a issue with funnels. And we're just going to ladle the chili into the jars. We're going to leave 1 inch head space, which is just at the bottom of the rim. And we should be able to fill up at least 7. We're using quart jars. We're going to do 7 for the first run, and then whatever's left, we may do a second run depending on how much is left because we still want to eat some of it. Yeah, so let's do that. Okay, so for the moment, I've switched these 2 pots to make it easier to ladle the chili into the. Go ahead and turn this off at this point. I don't think we need to keep it going. And we're going to switch these jars. Hot, 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 hot. Too bad. And we're going to start ladling the chili into the quart jars. This chili is a combination of ground chuck and pork. We've got 3 different types of beans in it. Red beans, black beans, and kidney beans. Okay, that's 1. We're doing 7 because 7 quarts is the number of quarts that will fit into the pressure canner at one time. It also coincidentally happens to be the number of jars I have available, so it works out pretty well. So that's the last of the jars. All 7 are filled now. On to the next step. So for our next step, we're going to debubble all of the jars using our little handy dandy debubbling tool. And that's just a matter of poking around, trying to get all the air bubbles out of the jars before we go through the pressure canning process. For the next step, we're going to clean the tops of the jars to ensure that all of the chili or any other foreign materials are removed to ensure a good seal. We're using vinegar. We're just going to go around the rim of each of the jars. Our next step, we're going to get the lids out of our hot water, not boiling, just hot, and put them onto the lids, or the lip of the jars. Next step, we're going to put the rings on, and they are going to be finger tight. All we have to do is put the jars into the canner. We're going to put the lid on. There are arrows that line up and tell you where you should be. I'm going to turn it around, and we're going to turn the heat up, and we're going to wait for this to start venting. When it gets to the point that it's venting, we will vent for 10 minutes. Okay, now we have a steady stream of steam coming out of the pressure canner, so we're going to go ahead and set a timer for 10 minutes and let that go ahead and vent for the 10 minutes. Okay, our 10 minutes are up, so we're going to go ahead and put our pressure regulator on. It's set for 10 pounds. And we are going to wait until, oh, let me turn that off. We're going to wait until we can get the pressure up to 10 pounds, and then we're going to let it run for 90 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure. Okay, so our pressure gauge is at 11. We're starting to rock on the pressure regulator. So we're going to go ahead and set the, I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit for one. We're going to set the timer for 90 minutes. And then we'll be back. Okay, our 90 minutes is finally up, so we're going to just turn the stove off, turn the timer off, and let the pressure cooker depressurize on its own over the next however long it takes to get down to zero pressure and for the steam to stop coming out. Okay, so it's been long enough and the pressure is down to zero. We're going to go ahead and open it up. When you do, make sure to turn the lid away from you so the steam doesn't get up in your face. And then we're going to go ahead and pull the jars out. And that's pretty much it.